Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy B, and today we are going to be giving you all of the AB teams group announcements that officially happened yesterday, about 13 to 14 hours ago at reset, going into July 12th. As you can see here from the server list in game, there are a number of new War of the Last Snows KVK groups. Now, the G1 pool is from 7001 to 7008, and then 7009 to 28 is the G2 pool. G3 will start next, and this is a mix from 7009 to 28 of the AB and the CD teams. So today, we're going to cover the AB teams. I'm going to show you, I'll show you what those groups are, and then I'm also going to show you my picks, my prediction picks for who I think has an edge out. And then we're also going to show you community picks that we did as well on live stream yesterday. And we'll show you percentages for what the community voted on who they think is going to win the matchup. So this should be pretty fun. And as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up. Because it helps out a lot. Thanks. Okay, let's start off by showing off the groups initially. So, and again, I just have this aptly named the number one group. I guess I could show it to you guys on the public sheet, because on the public sheet, I have the same thing. Now, if you guys want to get access to this, as I always say, all you got to do is join the Discord. There's going to be a link to that in the pinned comment description down below. Once you do join the Discord, all you got to do is go to reaction roles, select CallofDragons, which will be the one in the middle if you're accessing it on a PC. And then you go down to where it says CallofDragons. If it doesn't pop out after you select the reaction role, which you have to click on that, then just click the header. You'll go to COD Data Stats, and it's going to be this link right here. You can pin it, bookmark it, save it, whatever you do, boo-boo. But it is here for you. And you can see a number of people are on it because, again, we updated at least the AB groups yesterday. So let's go through this. So number one group, and maybe I'll probably remove my face too as well, just because, again, I don't want anything to kind of be interrupted. So the number one group at the moment, which was, again, my prediction was correct here, right, for the number one group. So it's S2AK, WBS, Rage Sura, going up against VP22, TFS, WAO, and GDW. Now, my pick for this is in green. So my pick is I'm actually going to give us a very slight edge to TFS, more so in hopes. And the reasons I stated was because for me, even though the numbers are still, they're not too far off. Like, yes, the 5.6 bill. And again, I will be getting updated data as well. I'm hoping from Fuzzy. I actually just asked him today. I'm super excited about this because there are some additional columns that I've asked to see if he can include on the next scan, which I'm hoping we can get around the 16th or the 17th, so in about 4 or 5 days. But once Brink of War has finished, because there's going to be some powering up, or troop training, etc., powering up. And so, again, I want to make sure that we can get some updated stats before the Zone 2 fighting, and I'll be able to show you guys that, along with some additional, more advanced stats, too, as well, that I'm really excited to show. But for now, right, we have a 5.6 build differential. We have a 2.1% on PvP engagement, right? So a little bit more goes on that to the TFS side. There's not too much differential here on the merits. So you have, right, 326 mil, 28 billion kills, right, in favor of the Rage team, 257 million deads in favor of the Rage team. So that's a decent amount. 17.2 billion heals in favor of the Rage team. And then when we look at numbers, right, they have 24 more total T5s. That's at 60 mil plus, and then 32 more 100 mil pluses. If we look at the 125, 150, 200 mil plus breakdown, we have 8 more 125 mils on the Rage team, 13 more 150 mils, and 9 more 200 mils. Again, I don't think the numbers are too big. I do think that does factor in, along with having some more troops available right at the 5.6 bill. For me, though, I like the fact that there's a little bit more PvP engagement from the TFS side, and I think 2.1% is a decent amount. Now, do I think that 2.1% is going to outweigh the 5.6 bill power and the other metrics, where the Rage team they are clearly the number one team and in this KVK pool? Maybe not. But I'm going to give a little bit of an X factor vote for my end on the TFS team because I've seen how WA performed against Echo. TFS has been in a rebuild and has really been just focused on leading out. And VP22, again, from what I have seen, are good fighters. Now, I don't know too much about GDW myself, so they're probably a little bit of an X factor for me, or an unknown, just because I probably haven't seen them fight too much. But for me, and again, this probably isn't the popular take, because I think most people would just say, well, Rage, definitely has a clear advantage. They're most likely going to win this matchup. I'm going to give my vote to TFS. So that's the number one group, or estimated to be. And then the number two group, right, we'd have is going to be, which I think this could very well probably be the number one group as well for most hype, most interest. But we have Echo, SVR, MFD, VW versus EX, BTX, BNR, and HOUW. So we have a 1.5 build difference. That's not too much, right? But that goes in favor of the Echo team. 302 million merits, so very close here. And we have a 1.07%, right? So the second group, this is what we said it was most likely going to be, right? We got that one right. I think we went 3 for 10 overall in our predictions, but we're going to show you why that happened too as well, and some of the trends that we noticed from the matchups. Because some people were disappointed in their matchups, but we got 24 bill kills. That goes in favor of Echo. We have 255 million deads. That's a decent amount because the numbers aren't too high there. That went in favor of the Echo team. We have 5.3 billion heals. That goes in favor of Echo. You have 35 less total T5s. Echo has 30 less 100 mil pluses, right? So those go in favor of the BTX team. If we look at the 125 to 200 breakdowns, you have 2 more 125s on BTX. You have 24 more 150 mils on the Echo team, and you have 7 more 200 mil pluses on the Echo team. So I think for me here, again, I do think the matchup is still very close. This isn't something that I would say, oh yeah, it's incredibly wide. The gap is it's too big. But for me, I'm casting my vote with the Echo team. I think there's a little bit of an edge there that they have. But again, I think this is going to be an amazing matchup to watch. Then we get to the what could be the number 3 KVK group. And again, I just put that there estimated. Doesn't mean that those numbers are the case. But we have FA, EIS, A2G, SHPZ versus 30NA, Ash, O5DK, and OL. Or excuse me, Squiggly Eyes. And so for here, we have a 3.3 billion power differential that goes in favor of the NA team. We have 220 million merit differential. That's in favor of the NA team. We have a 0.1% for merit differential, maybe noticing a slight trend here. We have 25 billion kills in favor of the EIS team. We got 60 million deads, which maybe isn't too significant because the numbers, it is a little bit of a lower number in general. But again, that goes in favor of the NA team. We have 481 million, which is a super low number. Like that, they're pretty much neck and neck in heals, which I think is pretty awesome. And then we get 27 more T5s that goes towards NA. We have 86 more 100 mil pluses that goes towards the IS team. And then if you look at the breakdown, they have 35 more 125. They have 6 more 150. But then the NA team has 2 more 200 mil plus. So yeah, my edge, I think, that where I casted my vote to is going to the EIS team. I think that the 86 100 mil pluses is a decent number, along with the fact that they have more 125s, more 150s. I just don't know if the 2 more 200, it's such a small gain because they're already pretty close at 22 and 24. So for me, again, I think that there is a clear advantage. I don't know if I want to say a great one or overwhelming, but I would say a decent one that goes towards the ES team. So that's why that's my pick. Then we get to the next KVK group, which this one is GG, ROV, AC, MBH versus 25IW, SEAL, Lion, and IWG. There's a 1.3 billion power differential. And again, this was taken from the 6th that we have going towards the ROV team. You got 36 million merits, which is super tight and close. And again, you can see 0.09%. Again, maybe noticing a trend. 11.5 billion kills. That's a smallish number, but that goes in favor of ROV. 80 million deads. Again, another smallish number, but that goes in favor of the 25 or the IW team. Then we get 40 million heals. Again, pretty insignificant because the number's so small and their totals are pretty close. Then we get the 71 total T5s that go toward IW. They have 71 more. But then you have a massive disparity at 219 100 mil pluses that go in favor of the ROV team. If you look at the breakdown, you got 42 more 125 mil pluses, double the amount of 150 mil pluses, and then 4 times the amount of 200 mil pluses. So, listen, we'll maybe talk about the fact that there is a kind of merit trend here, that the group pairings that they did had possibly a heavy factor on trying to have the total amount of merits be as close as possible. And you're going to most likely see that trend throughout the rest of the KVK groups. Again, I asked Doom, because Doom, he's the king of 110. I think he was in the live stream last night, and I asked him. I said, even though I don't think that there's going to be a perfect option, did you like my prediction or did you like the matchup you got? And he said I would have preferred your prediction matchup because it was just a little bit closer and a little more balanced. It's kind of like two sides of a different coin, or the same. I don't want to say same coin, but like a little bit of a slightly different coin. But I just thought that my matchup prediction was a little bit better than this one. And that's not to say that I think that it was great, but it was definitely a lesser, I think, of the two evils when it comes to this matchup. Because if you match them up with anyone else, there's just a chance that this is the thing you have to consider, is that because you only have 21 teams or 20 teams in this case, right, that got paired up, anyone you choose can have ripple effects, and it can affect the teams, the matchups below, right? That could potentially be more imbalanced. So it's like, if you want to take, like, if you're trying to get the most perfect matchups for everyone, it's not really going to happen, because if you do a perfect matchup for like 2 or 3 groups, then that can have worse rippling effects, right? Meaning you could have more imbalances on the groups below. So anyways, my pick though for them is ROV. I think there is a clear good, if not really good, advantage. You could probably even argue great advantage on their side. Next one we have is going to be OMG BOM GPX RAC versus D&D BXS LPG KOV. So we have a 4.6 billion power differential here that's going in favor of the RAC team. 319 million merits, that's in favor of them as well. Again, notice the trend, 0.08%, very close in merit totals. 46 billion kills in favor of the RAC team, 37 million deads in favor of them, 11 billion heals in favor of them. And then we just have 24 more total T5s in favor of the BXS team, but you got 54 more 100 mil pluses in favor of the RAC team. When we look at the deeper deets, you got double the amount of 125 mil plus players. You have 2.5 times about the amount of 150 mil players that's in favor of RAC. And then you have a little bit more than double the amount of 200 mil plus players. I mean, I think that's a pretty clear disparity, along with having more power too as well. So I think that this is a really good, if not great, advantage that they have. So again, my vote is for RAC. Then we get, and keep in mind, when I say that, I'm talking about, like, final zone, it's 4v4, they're going up against each other. We understand that things can change. Next group I have is NF57 14BS, or the next group that was announced. NF57 14BS SG97 EVG is going up against 21 SW, RP, RFF, and WOW, or WOW. We have a 10 bill power differential that's in favor of the the 57 team. We have 850 million merits, but again, notice the percentage, 0.17. Then we have kills 19 billion more in favor of NF57, 54 million deads in favor of them, but that's smallish. 15 billion heals in favor of NF57. We have 27 more total T5s. They have 86 more total 100 mil pluses. They have more than double 125 million plus players. They have about 3 times, or more than 3 times, the amount of 150 mil plus players, and then they have about 50% more of the 200 mil plus players, right? So again, kind of all going in favor of NF57. I think that this is a clear advantage here, right? This, I would say, is a really good, if not great, advantage. So again, my vote is going towards the NF57 team. Then we get to the next group here. Is we have hyphen FU, AVIC, WGL, NXW, and they're going up against DBB, Law, LAW, K211, and IFAP. Now, we have a 3.3 billion power differential. This goes in favor of the Law team. We have 556 million merits. That goes in favor of the NXW team, or WGL team. And again, percentage difference here on PvP activity is pretty close. I mean, again, this is a little bit higher, but I mean, it is still a lowish number relative to the others. Then we have kills, 1 bill. That goes very, very insignificant, but that's in favor of WGL. 8 mil deads, very low number, but that goes towards the Law team. We have 20 billion heals. That goes in favor of the Law team. So we have 67 more. We got 67 more total T5s. That goes in favor of the Law team. We have 12 more 100 mil pluses. That goes in favor of the WGL team. And then we have 27. So you have 4 more 125 mil pluses. You have double the amount of 150 mil pluses, and they have 3 200 mil players. And the Law team does not have any 200 mil plus players. Again, I think you could argue that this could maybe go either way. I'm giving my edge out to the WGL team. So that's where my vote's going. Then we get to the last. We got 3 groups left here. Let's get to NTS, Beck, MM, 1UP versus ROD, UHA, NWE, and HTF. So we got about a 2 bill power differential. This goes in favor of NTS. We have 366 million merits. That goes in favor of NTS. Again, notice PvP activity percentage low. We have about 11 bill kills. That's in favor of NTS. 74 million deads in favor of NTS. 4.4 billion heals in favor of NTS. We have 22 more total T5s in favor of the NTS team. 73 more 100 mil pluses in favor of the NTS team. And when you look at the breakdown, it's almost double the amount of 125 million plus players. You have about a 50% increase on 150 mil plus players, right? So that's in favor of the NTS team. And then you have almost double the amount of 200 mil plus players. So I think it's a clear advantage here. I would say a good advantage on the NTS side. So again, they get my vote. Then we have the next team here, which is our second to last group. We have POTC or POTU, BB, FG, KOD versus ED2, RSYN, IR, and KIN. We have a 9.5 billion power differential. That's in favor of the FG team. 1.1 billion merits. Notice, again, PvP activity percentage low, 0.7%. 8.3 billion heat kills in favor of the FG team. 156 million deads. This is a little more significant because it is a bigger number and the total numbers are a little bit smaller, but that's in favor of the FG team. 27 billion heals. That's decent. That's pretty good. In favor of FG. And then we have 92 more total T5s, but we have 22 more 100 mil pluses. That's in favor of the ED team. When we look at the breakdown, we have, again, 7 to 9. So you have more than double 125 million plus players. That's in favor of the ED team. You have double the amount of 150 mil plus players, and you have 3 times the amount of 200 mil plus players. That's in favor of the ED team. You know, normally I feel like I would say, okay, that probably is like a really good amount. And again, I think you could make an argument that, and I feel like this one is a little bit closer to 50-50, if I'm being honest. Part of me just feels like the 9.5 billion power, the fact that they at least have some people here, right? But like I said, my edge out is going to be over here to the FG team. Do I think that the ED team could win this? I do. But I think if I'm just looking at everything on paper, I think even if I just only like it a little bit more, I'm going to go with FG. Then we get to the last group. This is RK Block, DKTC versus Laws, AXC, SOS, and 3-3. So we have a 2.7 billion power differential here. This goes in favor of the 3-3 team. We have 377 million merits, so very low. Notice again a similar trend, 0.05%. We have 1.1 billion kills. That goes in favor of the 3-3 team. We have 191 million deads. That's a pretty decent amount. That goes in favor of the 3-3 team. We have 9.6 billion heals. That goes in favor of the 3-3 team. We have 58 more total T5s. That goes in favor of the 3-3 team. We have 45 more 100 mil pluses. That goes in favor of the RK team. If we look at the breakdown, RK has 5. The RK team has 5 more 125 mil plus players. They have 1 more 150 mil plus player, and they have 1 more 200 mil plus player. I think for me on this one, I think the 100 million, the 125 breakdowns, I think that exceeds some of the smaller margins that 3-3 has some advantages in. So again, I'm going to give the edge out vote here to the RK team. I think they have a decent advantage. And then lastly, We are going to show you percentages. I'll come back on cam now, and we're going to show you the community predictions, right? So here we go. Here's community, and we'll run through this pretty quick because all the numbers are here on the left, thankfully. So for the first matchup, 63% of the vote for the people that we had on stream felt that Rage Team was going to win. They were only giving the TFS team a 36% chance to win. And again, green is where they voted. Okay. For Echo, or I guess I'll do it like this, right? They think that Echo has an 89. So the community felt that Echo had an 89% chance to win this match, only giving BTX an 11% chance to win. So again, we'll see. That's pretty steep. Next one we have here is going to be FA, EIS, A2G, SHPZ, 30NA, ASH, O5DK, and OO. They're giving the EIS team an 80% chance to win versus the NA team has a 20% chance to win based on the community vote. Okay. For this one, GG, ROV, AC, MBH versus 25 IWCO, Lion, IWG. They're giving the ROV team, excuse me, let me not die over here, a 63% chance to win, and the IW team a 36% chance to win. Oh, oopsies, I should have rounded that, right? Just to make that equal. There we go. 37% chance to win, just so everything equals 100. And then the next one we have here is going to be OMG, BOM, GPX, RAC, D&D versus D&D, BXS, LPG, KOV. They're giving the RAC team a 65% chance to win that they think that side will, and with BXS team only having a 35% chance to win. Then we get to the next matchup. This is going to be NF57, 14 BSSG, 97 EVG versus 21 SW, RP, RFF, and WoW. Community feels NF57 has a 73, their team has a 73% chance to win, whereas the RFF team only has a 27% chance to win. Okay. Next matchup, we have Hyphen FU, AVIC, WGL, NXW versus DBB, Law, K211, and IFAP. Community voted for 76% chance for the WGL team to win, 24% chance for the Law team to win. Okay. Next matchup we have here is going to be NTS, Beck, MM, 1UP versus Rod, UHA, NWE, HTF. Community says 66% chance to win is going to go on the NTS team, 34% chance to win on the NWE team. Then we get over here to the POTU, BB, FG, COD versus ED2, RSYN, IR, and KIN. Community voted 64% chance for the FG team to win, 36% chance for the ED team to win. Okay. And the last matchup, RK Block, DKTC versus Laws, AXC, SOS 33. Again, and like I said, I think this is a closer matchup, and I think the community votes indicated that. They felt 58% chance to win for the RK team, whereas a 42% chance to win for the 3-3 team. Let me know what you guys think. Again, what do you think your percentages are for each of the teams? What do you think about the community predictions? My predictions. What do you think about the group matchups overall? Do you feel that, and again, for those of you, and maybe a side question, for some of you who saw my predictions, like my pre-group predictions that I have here, and this is all on the public sheet as well, do you like my predictions? Or would you, not even like, but would you have rather had my predictions for some of the matchups versus what we ended up getting? Or no, you're totally fine with what we got, and you're still excited, no matter what. I think that will maybe be interesting to do some comparisons. The last thing I'll leave you with is, for those of you that may or may not have noticed what I think is a very obvious trend, and it depends on how heavy this was really factored in as a priority metric when it came to deciding on team or matchups. You may notice that a lot of these groups have very low PvP percentage numbers, like activity numbers, right? Which is basically, we just did a simple thing of just dividing merits into power. And you'll notice that all of these groups were paired, were matched up with based on having very close total merit numbers. Now that, of course, doesn't mean that's the only metric that was used, but based on what we can show you and what we have access to, it is very clear that that was one of them that was more heavily weighed, because there's a consistent trend across all the groups, right? That you can see here for how close they are, what the merit differential percentages are. It's very obvious. So anyways, with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And as always, until next time.